So, thank you for coming. Thank you for doing it.
Pleasure.
You've come all the way from. We're kind of Charing Cross, and you've come all the way from Crystal
Have we
Palace.
started, by the way?
Well, yeah, I suppose so. But Crystal Palace is, I mean, as we both know, that's in a different country.
Yeah,
because it's south of the river.
It's south of the river,
So
and it is
Bosnia.
it is in every way superior. What the Crystal Palace, the South London North London rivalry is not in any way racist, I would say, because
Where's this going?
Well, because there's no stop the boats. We want to start the boats. The more that people come from North London to South London, we don't go, we've got no room. We're quite the opposite. We go, brilliant, we've won you over.
Well, there's more chance of you getting your own underground stations, isn't there, than if we pop down over there?
Yeah. I mean, I don't want new underground stations until most of you have come over, because I quite like the fact that you have to get on a train to get down to us, and that just leaves you all addled. And you're more likely to go, I'll get a hot air balloon.
I absolutely... Yeah.
What? Get a what? A train?
That's exactly what I do. I'm not getting on the actual
giraffe.
Yeah. I'm not getting on the train. What, the train? You mean where I actually have to press the button for the doors open? I'm not pressing a button so the doors open so I can get on the train. We're at the station. Obviously, I want to get on the train.
Okay.
Why should I have to press a button for the doors to open?
Well, that's fine. Then stay in fucking Acton.
Which is not where you grew up as a child. Where did you?
I didn't even grow up as a child in South London. I'm the worst sort of zealot, because I was I've moved there when I was 18. I grew up in a town called Swanley. I feel a bit guilty because I've mentioned Swanley many times in my life, and never very positively.
No,
and
I've noticed that.
Strangely, it's sort of, and I feel really guilty because so much of the last 15 years of my life has been talking about a wide array of towns.
Yes.
Around Britain and a few
Your
beyond
Mark
Britain.
Steele's in Town show on Radio 4, which can be heard on BBC Sounds.
Exactly.
And Spotify, of course.
And Spotify.
And as you going to towns and doing essentially a stand-up show about the town. It's absolutely unbelievable.
No, thanks. It's
voted, wasn't it? Hang on, where did it recently? Like a couple of years ago. It's like in the top 10 of best Radio 4 shows of all time.
I think it was fifth.
Yeah.
So I was very flattered by that after the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy,
amazing,
and the Goons and a couple of other things like that. So I was very flattered.
So you
the
feel
idea
guilty.
of that is like, so for example, as we sit here, I this year went to places as diverse as Lewisham,
which is where I grew up as a child.
Yes, I should have talked to you
several
more about that, but yes. And then we did a couple in Shetland, which I loved. I had a brilliant time. I had 10 days up there. One of them, we had to write it sort of quickly and do it, which was in this little place called Unst, which is the North Island of Shetland. The top of it is further north than the bottom of Greenland. And it's so remote, the most remote bit of Britain, really. And you've got to like it. You've got to like the places to be able to do it. I think if I got to somewhere and I just thought everyone here is awful and the place is terrible and I hate it, I think it would be impossible to do it. I can only do it because I get to like the place so much. And everywhere's like that. There are people who are brilliant and funny, and you get a sort of vibe of it.
Yes.
And then you can be rude as well, and people don't mind because they know you like them.
Yes.
And so in Lerwick, in the capital of Shetland, where we did the first one, after about 3 days, there's this strange sense of like Lerwick's this beautiful, beautiful town, capital of Shetland.
Yeah.
You're getting frustrated because it's nothing to do with the premise of the podcast.
Yes, I am, yeah. What I was going to say to you is, I had the same, right, with Ross Noble, he'll go away, but Ross Noble's known for that, whereas you're not known for that, even though I know you for that. So can you stick to the fucking podcast? Please, for God fucking... Is this going to come round to where you grew up? Yes or no?
Yeah.
And will it do it today?
Yeah.
Okay, fine.
I know, it's tricky, isn't it? It's tricky sticking with you. So, hello, Mark. Today is my favourite cotton reels. What's your favourite cotton reel of all time? Well, it reminds me of a shark that I once saw in an aquarium. Now, this shark.
Shut up! No! Steele! Back to the answer. Answer the question. Do the pod. Concentrate. Steele. Concentrate.
Yeah, well, we will come to this.
Yes.
I was brought up in this town called Swanley. Unlike the places that I talk about in my
I see. So in Shetland, you're in the Shetland Island.
I was in Shetland. I did 2 shows in Shetland, and I came to love it. And there's about 80 of those shows. I think all but say 2 of them are places that I thought I love it here,
Okay.
and I would happily go. If I was to go back there again, I would think, brilliant. I'm going to go back there. I'm going to meet some of the people I met who are lovely, enthusiastic about the place, funny about the place. I remember that building, that pub, that like everyone.
Yes.
And it slightly irks me that I know I'm not going to have time in my life to go back to all these places.
Yes, yeah.
And yet, whenever I talk about my hometown, it is with quite the opposite
well done, by
attitude.
the way. You brought it back, and that was... I almost feel bad now for interrupting you.
Yeah, no, you're quite right, because by now I'd have been off talking about Iceland. But and I don't have an affection for it. Now, I would hurry to say that does not mean that I have contempt for the people that I was brought up with.
Yeah.
There's something about the place. It was... Swanley is nominally in Kent. Kent... People think of Kent as being one place. Nowhere's one place, is it, in Britain? It's not like America, there's everywhere in a place is, old people in their condominiums or whatever. There's nowhere like that in Britain. Everywhere has got posh bits, poor bits.
It's diverse, even if it's not about ethnicity.
Yeah, very much
diverse,
so. Very much so. And if you're on the edge of Swanley, you could be in quite a posh, rural sort of place in a house worth a couple of million quid, or more than that. And if you're in the Hartdyke estate, the house is clearly not worth a couple of million quid.
And is that where you were?
No, I was sort of in the middle, really, of those two things. No, nearer to the Hartdyke estate end, really. Very traditional working class background, but not poverty stricken.
No. And do you and so what is the... Did being where you're from and in that kind of at that level of society, how did that shape you now? How are you a product of that?
Right, fascinating question. I'd say there's sort of 2. At the risk of sounding like a politician, there's 2 things probably that shape us, isn't there? One is the what are you born with in your mind, and then there's the environment that you're in.
Yes.
So the environment I was in, that's an easier bit. So the town of Swanley was very, very small town that then got bigger in the 60s. It probably went from 5,000 to 15,000, something like that. And mostly it was people moving out from outer sort of South London, and its attraction was boredom. There is nothing here. You will be quiet. You won't have all of the chaos of Lewisham. Now you can just go round and round the 2 streets, and there is fuck all.
Yeah.
And there will be nothing to distract you or there'll be no noise. Yeah. I mean, unbelievable.
You should be an estate agent. This is fantastic.
Yeah. 5 minutes. You're only 5 minutes from fuck all. It may look like there's nothing, but there's nothing for miles. But when I say nothing, so I used to do this joke. See if I remember how it went. It was like, I used to do this joke that was, and people from other towns will go, oh, I'm from a similar place. I'm from Hitchin or Ipswich or Kettering. I'd go, no, because I know the place. So Kettering. No, what are you talking about? There's a leisure centre in Kettering. Yeah. There's a shop. There's 30 pubs. There's nothing in Swanley. Nothing. One pub and nothing. No cinema. No nothing. And then I'd say, going up to someone, she shows you how old the joke is. Going up to someone from Swanley, someone from a similar place, is like going up to Nelson Mandela and going, I had hassle from the old Bill myself, so I know exactly how you feel, mate. That was Swanley.
Right, okay. Yeah.
And there's one pub, I have a line about the one pub, the Lullingston, And it's where the right old crooks and everything used to hang about in there, right in the Lullingstone. And so I often say, like, it's suicide going in there, literally suicide. These people who go to Switzerland are wasting their money. Just get a one-way ticket to Swanley. Go in there. I'm not from round here, mate. 10 minutes, you'll be done. And
especially with the trainers you've got now, bits of gold in them.
Yeah.
You could go into it.
Well, they'd be taken, and then the rest of you would be dumped in the rubbish bin outside and shut. And there was a pub, right? This is unbelievable when I think about it, right? So there was a pub that was just outside the borders of Swanley, where I used to go with my mates. That was the slightly less rough one.
Right.
That was called the Woodman. Now that place, most people in this world, if you put them in there, they'd go, "Oh my good God, look at this place." That was the upmarket one. That was one where, for example, on a Friday night, I would go in the Woodman. My ambition when I was 16, I used to go in the pub. By the time I was 16, all that thing you do, you sort of 16, there's four of you. The one with the stubble goes in.
Absolutely.
You go in and order the drinks, all that. Why is it always me who has to do it? Right, go on, all that. So,
yeah.
And then all of that stuff,
Yeah.
4 pints of bitter, please. How old are you, son? 19. What year were you born?
What's your star sign?
Yeah, 1922.
Yes.
That makes you 47.
Yeah.
Oh, all right then. 1952. All right then, that'll do.
Yeah.
So we sit behind the fruit machine. And so from then onward, by the time I was 18, my ambition was, because I always used to go down there on we'd go down there about 5 nights a week. Friday was the big night, and I would often drink 8 pints of bitter, and I would be in a terrible drunken mess at the end of that. My ambition, Sean, was one night to drink 9 pints. I never got because I was always too drunk and I'd be sick. But
that's pathetic.
So I think it's good to be driven, and I was driven in the same way that someone might be driven to become a swimming champion or driven to invent something.
Your goal in life.
A goal in life, 9 pints.
You never made it.
No.
There's still time. There's still time.
And that was in the Woodman.
Don't give up.
Once in the Woodman, one of the Clark family was in the toilet.
Are we gonna have to censor out their name in case I get stabbed if they see this?
No, they won't stab you.
No.
I'll tell you one story that I'll tell you about another member of the Clark family. There was quite a lot of them. Normally, I liked him really. We got on all right, and I was just in the toilet mid-slash, and he just went and absolutely smacked me face in.
What?
While I was. And but the worst thing of it,
I did not see that coming because it was preceded with, I liked him really.
No,
I liked him really.
And then
he smacked me in the face at a urinal. When I was relieving myself.
Yeah, and then but this is the really odd thing about being brought up there, is I don't think I barely mentioned it. That jaw. I think maybe an hour later, one of my mates, what's the matter with your jaw? Oh, no, Nobby Clark smacked me while I was having a piss. Do you want another one? It was so normal. It was so normal to get punched. When I hear people now go, I've been bullied, yes. and I'm fair. I don't mean to demean them really, but I do sort of think, oh no, we were just in the middle of this tempest of violence, of petty violence. Nothing really terrible, but petty violence.
Yeah, just petty violence, like being smacked in the face.
Smacked in the face mid-slash.
Absolutely.
And that was so one of the other Clarks, me and my mate Keith, right, we decided we were going to be entrepreneurs, and one of the things we did, we bought a car.
How old? I want to pause. How old are you when you decide that you want to be entrepreneurs?
I did.
What's this?
I don't think I did really want to be an entrepreneur. I just didn't want to just be doing what seems to be the thing.
But that's what I was going to get to, because already I just think with that there's a sense of imagination and fun.
Oh,
and I think
you're good at this. Yes, I'd never considered that. Well, let me tell you the story. It's very short, and I won't get diverted.
No, don't. I feel bad now. Like you're.
No.
Like you're frightened to tell a story because I'm going to go, Steele, back on track. No, please. It was just
We'll get
because
to
we had
still
started.
stay on track because that is very important.
Tell us the story.
Right, the story is this. Me and my mate Keith, we bought a car off a bloke in a pub for 12 quid. We polished it.
Absolute bargain.
Yeah. We polished it, I cleaned out the engine, I didn't know anything about cars, vacuumed it and all that, and put a little notice in the newsagent, car for sale, 20 quid. We're going to make 8 quid profit. Maybe he'll bargain us down to 18 quid, but we'll still make a few bob. And one of the Clark family come round.
Sorry, pre or post /smack?
Don't know, round about the same time. This was a different Clark. There was loads of them. And this one, he was a bit notorious, and I thought, he's probably going to use it for some ill-fated burglar or something, I don't know. And he went, so look, yeah. And then he went, can I get in? I went, yeah. And he got in, and just drove off. Just drove off. I still have a really vivid memory of me and my mate Keith. Yeah. I have a really vivid memory of me and my mate Keith stood in the road and we're just sort of silent watching him. And then as he turned round the corner, Keith went to me,
Pub?
He's not coming back, is he? Doubt it.
Pub? Yeah. See if I can do 8 today. Get my way up to 9. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. Okay.
It was
so what?
cultureless. It was just. It was really.
But what effect? But what effect does that have on you? Because we just talked about you got a 5th in best ever Radio 4 show, Radio 4. That generalising that world.
The odds were against that at that.
That's what I mean.
Moment. Yeah,
that's exactly what I mean. So how does being around that? How does that shape you? And then I suppose especially there's surely something to say about going into a world that isn't that. How that. Even though you're talking about the Clarks and the Clarks did this, but where are you? Where's you in that?
I'm just thinking that the Clarks.
Oh, for fuck! What else did the Clarks? Shall I just get the Clarks on? Do you want to just go? Just get me one of the Clarks numbers and get them in.
Make a brilliant Radio 4 series. And the Archers will be back once again tomorrow. But before just a minute, here's the latest episode of Today with the Clarks.
And the series finale is one of the Clarks. So they've all been caught. They're fucked now. They've got to go clean. And one of them goes, "What about shoes?" And that's the end of the series.
Exactly. It'd be funny if that was the same family. No, you can't have laces and all. They're extra.
Right. The track. Pod. I asked you and you ignored it. Keep on ignoring it. But where are you? Where's you in that? So this kind of stuff's happening to these characters are around you. But how does that form you? Does it make you world weary? Does it make you find the world funny? Does it give you trust issues?
No,
there's got to be some sort of corollary of that.
Yeah, I don't know. I try not to spend too much time getting introspective about those sorts of things. But I think where
right. Well, then that's what this is.
No. Well, it is and it isn't because it's It's interesting when it illuminates other things.
We're not talking for 20 minutes about what this podcast
No, because it's...
No, go on.
I love the podcast. I've listened to lots of them, and they're fascinating, but they're not just fascinating because that person's fascinating. It's fascinating because, right, what lead someone to then go
Absolutely.
to do something
That's
else.
That's it.
And that's why there's the two things, isn't there? Now, we're products of our time. So I was a product.
It's got a third one, actually. That's really interesting. I never
Right.
thought of that. Yeah.
Well, see, the
This is very
times I was brought up in, that I think, right, that did shape my thinking. This is a
Right.
positive thing.
Yeah.
Is that it was a time when, and it was the latter end of this time, but I did catch it, a time when working class people felt confident about being working class, a time when the trade unions were strong. I'm only catching the back end of this, really, in the 70s. So here's one little example. One of the major comedy programmes at the time that I used to watch when I was a kid was On the Buses. Now, I don't know if you've ever seen On the Buses. It's really quite something. It's that, there was Stan. I mean, it's Harry Enfield and Paul Whitehouse do a really brilliant parody of it in their some of their later shows.
Right.
It's absolutely unambiguously sexist. It's Stan and
I'm looking it up, by the way. I'm not just checking my messages.
No. So Stan and his mate Jack. Stan's a driver, Jack's a conductor. They're both in their 50s.
Yes.
And they're both completely obsessed with getting off with the girls in the office who are all like wearing short skirts and they're 22. I mean, but
Right,
it was
okay.
what was on. But what?
It's an ITV sitcom, which I always think is interesting when there's an ITV sitcom.
Yeah. No,
Always
it's very
stands out
ITV
to you. You go, well, sitcom on ITV.
Yeah. Paul and Harry did a very funny thing of Doctor Who, the ITV years, and it sort of merged with On the Buses, and Stan and Jack are in the TARDIS. Whoa! Whoa! Look at this planet. They land on a planet, and all the women have got 3 breasts. It's like Doctor Who done by ITV.
Yeah. So On the Buses, you liked that. Did you watch that with your mum and dad, by the way?
Yeah.
Or did you find that? So
I
it wasn't.
thought it was fantastic.
So it wasn't like one of those things which you often get. When Python was around, you often got the thing about that was exciting to young people was that their parents didn't understand it, and actually that Python spoke to them. But On the Buses, you're saying actually that was a communal thing that I could watch with my family.
That's a very good point. It's exactly right as well. My mum and dad hated Python. They hated it. They viscerally hated it. I wasn't allowed to watch it. There was like once every now and again when I was like 13, 14. Yeah, they'd be out on whatever night, Tuesday night, or whatever night it was on. They'd be out. Oh my God, they're going out! I can watch Python. It was so exciting.
Wow, right?
And just once, I remember it was on, and all right, you can watch it. And it was the night of the first time it was on of the Spam sketch.
Wow.
Spam, that one. And I remember crying with laughter so much. And most of the time when I was laughing at it, my mum and dad would just get angry. It doesn't make any sense. Their sense of order, their post-war stability, everything in its order, everything should have its place. We're here, they're there. We're not like them, the people who run the banks who are different. Everyone's in the order. And they've just gone, well, that's the end of that sketch. Let's go over here. It doesn't make sense. It would make them angry. And that made it even funnier. And the Spam one, I just cried laughing so much. And I remember my mum going, oh, look at him. He's in a right old state. And, of course, that made me even more. On the Buses, on the other hand, that had order and structure. It would start out with them all in the... I mean, when I can't do it better than Paul and Harry do it. They would have, this was pretty much what it would be. There was the Olive. This was the comedy we used to watch. Olive, who was done up to look as, unattractive as possible.
I've just seen a photo.
Yeah.
I think I know who Olive is by looking at the photos.
I think her name was Anna Karen.
Right.
So she would say something. Oh, I don't know where... Have you got any of the chocolates? And then her husband would go, haven't you eaten enough, you fat old cow? That was... Oh, my God. That's terrible. It's absolutely terrible.
Oh God! I don't. Basically, put it this way: I don't think they'll be doing promo for that today on the last leg.
No. But in amongst all of this indefensible rubbish, right? The premise of it was this: the manager was a guy called Blakey, run by Stephen Lewis, right? The actor did Blakey. And he was like this, come on, I'll get these buses out. You're supposed to have these buses out.
He's the tall one.
Yeah. And they would just ignore him and do what they wanted. And maybe I'm reading, maybe this could end up in Sude's Corner in Private Eye, you know. But I think it did sort of, it only made sense that the bus drivers and they could just do whatever they wanted and ignore the manager. When you look, that would be impossible to make anything like that now, leaving aside all the other horrible things of it. There's nowhere where the workforce just takes the piss out of the management and does what it wants. Those were the times. That was it. Started in the late 60s, in the 70s. Right. It was the time when the trade unions were very strong. It was a time when millions of working class people had a little bit of sense of self-worth. Not everywhere, but could go into work. Dockers used to nick things, and that was just considered part of their wage. That once every 6 months they come home with a fridge, and it was just sort of.
Yeah.
I mean, so I definitely grew up with a sense that I had a sense of injustice, that the world was very unjust, but also that.
What do you mean you grew up with? Well, I know what you mean.
People from a sort of.
Why are you growing up with a sense that the world was unjust? I think that's quite a big statement. I grew up with a sense
because
that
it
the
so
world
obviously
was unjust.
was.
But I mean, what age are we talking about?
But the first,
I wouldn't say for example, I wouldn't say I grew up with a sense that the world was unjust. I think I thought life was unfair, but those are kind of two different things. Life's unfair to me.
Oh right, I see.
Why does life always do this to me?
Oh,
which is very different.
Right. You thought it was just you and that everyone else was having a fantastic time.
I think it's taken me a long. I said this on something else recently. It's taken me a long time to realise. Oh, no one's enjoying this.
Yeah, to make it all about yourself. Someone did say to me, someone who's got an 11-year-old said to me recently that their 11-year-old said to them, has nobody thought about how all of this news about Gaza is really traumatising me? That's the self-obsession of the next generation.
Yeah, that's what we've got.
That's
Generation Alpha, isn't it? That's Gen Alpha. I think so.
I didn't really have any. I barely took any note. When I was a kid, Vietnam was happening. I remember it being on the news, and I remember civil rights things and stuff being on the news. I didn't really take an interest in it very much, but I did have a sense that it's not, especially once I got to about 15. My dad ended up in a mental hospital. And
when you were 15?
When I was 15. And my dad was an unpleasant man in many ways, but I have a lot of nice memories of him as well. We had a bit of a laugh. He took me to the cricket and stuff.
He got you in because you're heavily into cricket, so he got you into cricket.
No, he didn't get me into cricket, but we would go together to the cricket. He knew I liked the cricket. He quite liked the cricket, so we'd go together and watch Kent play, and we'd have a day out, and it'd be a day out with, I didn't really have.
You liked cricket before he took you to cricket?
Yeah. Okay. I think he quite liked it, but he knew I really liked it, so he would take me down there, and my mum wouldn't really.
How did you end up getting into cricket if your parents don't like cricket?
I don't know. I absolutely don't know. I just thought, this is what an amazing. I mean, all sport really.
Yeah,
I was by the time I was 8 or 9, I loved football and I did everything.
Yes, but
when we were on holiday, I'd the biggest thrill for me was going on the putting green. There's something about There's something about just hitting a ball.
Yes.
and my dad really liked snooker, so I loved, and I've definitely got that off him. I've always loved the snooker.
Right. But so you're 15 and he's sent off to.
Yeah. So
home.
Yeah, I'll tell you. So this is relevant. So this is the sort of person my dad was. When I was 16, I'd started work by then. We'll get around to the reasons why I'd left school. And Kent, because I was from Kent and I supported Kent cricket, and Kent were in a semi-final at the Oval, South London. And I was working at London Bridge, not far from there, and I thought if I can get off work early, I can go to the sort of second half, if you like, of that match. And my dad had wangled a day off work and he was going to it. And he said, well, meet me there. And I said, well, how am I going to find you there in a big crowd? And he went, I'm going to be wearing this shirt. And he had this bright orange shirt. And when I got there, he was indeed wearing this bright orange shirt. And I could see it from the other side of the ground. And I went round and I found him. Earlier that year, I'd been on a cricket course that was run by a bloke who was a minor player in the Kent side who was playing that day. So I go round, I see me dad, he's with a load of blokes who he'd just met, and he was pissed. He was absolutely, this was what he used to do. He used to take me to the cricket and have about 8 pints and then drive me home. That's what he would do. He would just leave me there. He'd go, right, you all right there, son? All right, you mate, don't you annoy any of these people. You sit there, all right? I'm just going to go into the, beer scent, and then he'd come back. Yeah. Where's my son? Yeah, is this him? There you go. That's you, isn't it? Come on. And then he'd drive me home. So
it was a different time.
It was a different time. So he'd had a few, and he was annoying everyone with telling filthy jokes. And then
so he told jokes. You remember that then?
Yeah. But he was no good at it. And then
were people laughing?
No, they were just thinking, is this annoying drunk man? I'm trying to watch the cricket.
Oh, right.
Now, 2 things happened.
And you thought, that's what I want to do when I'm older.
Yeah. So Kent won.
Okay.
And there was a Kent player called Derek Underwood, and my dad loved him. And the man of the match was announced. And it was announced that someone else had won the man of the match, not Derek Underwood. The man who was adjudicating was a man called Gary Sobers, who's quite possibly the greatest cricketer, one of the greatest cricketers who ever lived. And he was there, and he decided the man of the match was someone else. And my dad was stood there going, bloody fucking Derek Underwood's the man of the match. What's going on? It was just being an embarrassment, and people going, all right, mate. And then as we were leaving, he went, right, let's go in here. And as we were leaving the Oval, he suddenly did a bolt into these doors, and there was these little old stewards. Excuse me, sir, you can't go there. I go, oh, fucking want. And we go through these doors, and I'm following me dad, going, Dad, you can't go through here. And we're going through all these sort of little underground corridors in the Oval. I go, Dad, what are you doing? He goes, I'm going to congratulate the Kent team. I went, what are you doing? And there was no...
This is a kind of child's worst fear.
Worst fears.
So embarrassing for a child.
Awful. And then I thought, well, we'll just go round and round in a circle and eventually you'll get fed up. And then he burst open came through this one door, and we were in the Kent changing room. And all the players were there and showering and shit, like famous players. Oh, my God, they're all here. And bless him, he went, I just want to say congratulations in the fucking final. And I was going, oh, and then this bloke who I'd been on the course, who'd done the course that I'd been on, he was there, and he come out in a towel and sat there really kindly talking to me for about 5 minutes, while all the while he must have been thinking, what on earth has happened? And he was just, and I thought, this is the most embarrassing moment possible.
Yes.
And eventually I went to and then he trumped it, because as we were leaving, Sir Gary Sobers, was signing autographs, and my dad went up to him and went, you don't know what you're fucking talking about with the man of the match, mate.
That's fantastic. Good on him. Good. I agree with him. Sorry to interrupt. Just to let you know, I am on tour at the moment, and you can get tickets to see me live on my This Is Torture tour. You can get tickets at SeannWalsh.com. I'm all over England and Wales. Hit the link in the bio, and I'll see you there. Oh,
That was me dad, and he was. You would now call it bipolar. No, you would now call it whatever's taken over from bipolar. Manic depressive up, so he would be
borderline
anyone
personality disorder, perhaps.
No, I don't think it'd be that one.
Okay, let's go with manic depressive.
Yeah, he would. So because he would have periods of being manic, certainly manic, up, and he would, because he was like an insurance man, so he got commission if he sold more insurance. And during these up times, he'd be knocking on the doors. He wouldn't be like insurance now. You would imagine someone in a big office somewhere, in the city, doing deals. It wasn't that sort of insurance. He'd be just knocking on the doors. All right, Mrs. Wilson, free announcements for the week, and that sort of insurance man. But he would sell, and I'm sure he was so up, he'd go, every door he was knocking on, he'd sell extra bits of insurance that they didn't need, and he would get a bit of commission, and then we would earn so much money, and then he would spend it, and he would buy nutty things. I remember he said, all right, skive off school, son, come with me, and we went up to this market thing. There was a day when there was a market traders selling just bits of shit, just market traders shit, like from the 70s. The sort of tat that, again, working class people, bit more money every year, and so new things. It's like everything that doesn't happen now. We're getting new things. Everyone's getting new things every year. We're a little bit better off. Look what we got now, electric carving knives. Nobody needs them, but look what we've got. Stuff like that. And he bought piles and piles of this rubbish. I don't think any of it even got opened, but he'd be manic and up and earning money.
Today it would be an air fryer.
Yeah, I suppose it would be. Or
an Apple Watch.
Yes, I suppose there is stuff, isn't there? Yeah. It was sort of...
But I know what you mean. I do know what you mean. It acts as... It's almost almost kind of its own version of bling. You buy these products to show that to show your riches.
Yes. I think the difference is that now... there are individuals who'd buy the bling. I think then almost everybody bought this tat because it was a sort of symbol. Everyone was getting materially better off back then in ways that doesn't happen now. So you think that the change between, say, 1960 and 1975, the things that came into the house, far more than the changes in the last 15 years, not developments of things, new things. 1960, not many people had a telly. In 1975, everyone did. Record players, very few people. Now everyone did. A car, very few people had a car in 1960.
Wow, okay.
1975, just telephones. Not a different sort of telephone, any telephone.
Yeah.
And so people felt that this was a new world. It was new and exciting, and I think there was sort of something in that working class sort of confidence that I must have been aware of in some way. I don't know quite what, but I think that must have sort of rubbed off on me in some way. That sort of there's lots of things that weren't very nice about it. Attitudes towards gay people, for example, was fucking worse than you would get in the middle of Saudi Arabia.
In Swanley in particular, do you mean? Or do you mean the country?
Generally, and in Swanley. And I knew when I first started thinking politically and started getting sort of engaged with ideas.
Which would be when?
Probably, I was still in Swanley, so probably when I was about 17. And
was it normal then to be working class, 17, and beginning to think about political ideas and politics?
Well, I didn't. I don't know what it was with me. Something. I don't know. I don't know why it was then. Really, the news seemed fascinating to me. I was always interested in it. I don't know why. I was, 14, I think, when Nixon resigned, and I remember finding that fascinating.
At 14, see, that's remarkable to me.
But it was
14
such
to
a
14.
massive story. The president of America is having to resign because he told a pack of lies about a burglary that he helped to organise. That did seem to be amazing to me. And I do remember something that really did have an effect on me, because I watched the resignation speech and I thought, in my naive teenage mind, he's going to come on and go, I'm really sorry that I burgled somewhere and arranged a burglary and arranged all these slush funds and told all these lies and did all that. And of course he didn't. He just did a load of politicians speak about, how we all have to stick together and in these days and sometimes we do things. And I was going, you've been caught, you little fucker. The least you can do is say I've been caught. And I remember being really... No, it wasn't... No, that sort of suggests I was angry. I wasn't angry. I was confused. I thought you'd been caught. And, of course, the times go on. You realise they never, ever admit to anything, even when they have been caught, do they?
But yes, absolutely. By the way, it just occurred to me that there would have been a lot more... Although there were no smartphones and there was no social media, there still would have been a lot more technological distraction when I was younger. So... I was thinking, well, what was I doing? If you're reacting to politics, we're talking about Grand Theft Auto. We're talking about computer games. There's so much more distraction. There was so much more entertainment that was being offered to you at my age than that I imagine there would have been to you.
Yeah. But maybe I was just fascinated by it. I don't know. And then... But then bit by bit, I sort of pieced together that I did have opinions on this. I wasn't just sort of like interested in it as a sort of observer, like a football fan watching it from a distance. I did think, no, I've got an interest in this by the time I got to 17, 18. And in particular, because the National Front got to a point where they were getting a sort of serious level of support, and they were nasty. They were not like Farage. I mean, they organised street gangs really to attack people. In most towns in Britain had a National Front branch, and they were vicious. And so when I was sort of 17, 18, the Anti-Nazi League was formed, and that was to counteract the National Front, and that's the first thing I got involved in. I did think I want to be part of this. So, and it interesting. One of the things that is I think interesting historically, because I think if you're sort of young now, it'd probably be hard to grasp this, and that's a good thing. But the thing that would really enrage people more than anything, then, if you could stand up for black people, immigrants, and stuff, and you might annoy people down the pub with that. But if you said I support gay rights, that was quite liable to end up in someone punching you in the face. That was the one that really, really angered people. So I would deliberately wear a sort of gay rights badge and stuff. And,
right.
And that.
Did it feel like did it in any way kind of mirror the times of now where it's trans, and that might be...
Yeah, but even that, you wouldn't... If you wore a trans rights badge I can't imagine there's many places where if you wore that, it would be... you'd wear the badge, I'd wear the badge, and you go in the pub. What's that? Wait, you fucking look at me. What is that? It would just...
Was that what you were wearing whilst you were having a slash?
No,
so
it wasn't. That was different.
That badge, bang.
Yeah. No, I don't think so.
Right.
It was probably, ironically, something to do with the Clark's latent homosexuality.
Yes. Right. Yeah.
He was angered at the sight of my...
Yeah.
At me having a slash. I don't know. But I don't know. All of these things, whatever it was, it sort of... Whatever it was, they all sort of led to me I suppose being wanting to take part in that in some way.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. You said like there's this sense of injustice in the world, and not only that, but almost you're going to do something about it.
Yeah, and then stupidly, of course, I sort of thought, if I'm going to do something about it, once I've decided to do something about it, probably give it 6 or 7 weeks, it'll all be sorted.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know how...
What, did you just get to 2 weeks and call it a day?
Yeah.
Is that what happened?
Well,
Did you go,
I don't know if you do
If you had stayed for 6 to 7 weeks, Mark, this could have all been fixed.
Could have been fixed.
You need to follow through with your ideas. That's the end of part 1. You can listen to part 2 right now by hitting the link in episode description or going to patreon.com/classclown. That's it from me. We'll see you next time for more Class Clown. Cheers.